So I'm Jed Whitaker, and I guess I was one of the first people or the first person to have their level like selected by Media Molecule to be like one of the featured ones. It was a level I made in the beta actually, with the intention of being like kind of cheeky and like trying to go like viral with it. The level, not necessarily a good level gameplay wise, but it's more like the lore slash presentation in general, where the level itself, I think it was called like Love and Marriage. Like I can barely remember the title, but it sounds right. It sounds like something I would have named it. So it starts out and you just like, if I remember correctly, you just kind of go up and it's like, will you marry me? Yes or no. And at the time, I remember a lot of like stories going viral where it was like, I modded like Link to the Past and put like a little question in there to ask my girlfriend to marry me and stuff, which honestly, I never believed them. I always thought like, I feel like these are just, for press. And I said I could do that. So we made this level and it's like, will you marry me? Yes or no? And if they say yes, I think it like rains down like balloons, like celebratory. And then they keep walking and there's a little hot air balloon that I made, which I was like proud of because it's just like a little cute hot air balloon, and I don't think I even remember seeing something like that in the beta at the time. I was just like, wow, this is like a cool little tech, which now you see games like Zelda and stuff where you just build all kinds of stuff and float around, but back then it was like, wow, this is sick. We made this video where my girlfriend at the time, actually fiance at the time, we were pretending that she was playing it for the first time, and then she like gasps when it says the question and she says yes, and then we just kind of finish it. And we just expected like, I don't know, it was like the early in my like YouTube career, like really it's like the moment I kind of got into games media, and we kind of expected like some reaction, but we didn't expect the reaction that it got, where it's like in PlayStation Magazine, like the video's getting a ton of views, and then it's like the game comes out and they're like, oh, this is one of the first featured levels then. And it's crazy to think about, but that was like kind of like the real start of my games career, because since then I went on to do like actual games criticism. I'm partnered on Twitch. I used to write for like Destructoid and CGM. I have like 200 reviews on Metacritic, or Metacritic, OpenCritic and stuff. And I mean, that was kind of like the first moment, and everything just kind of went from there. The moment that I was like shocked is when I used to subscribe to like official PlayStation magazine, and I get it in the mail and it's like there's like a screenshot of my level, and I was like, whoa. Because I was like, I don't know, that was so long ago. I had to be like 19 or 20, so it was like shocking to me then,
What was your reaction when you got the crown in the game?
I was surprised and like shocked, and also didn't feel like it deserved it, honestly, because it's not really like a super deep or fun level. It's just something interesting, there's like the lore behind it, and I kind of feel like that's why they picked it, because it's something they can be like, wow, like our game's having this kind of impact or engagement, and I mean that's kind of why we made it, just to like see if we could get that kind of reaction. So, but it was still like surprising, when you're like a teenager, like 19, 20, and you're just like trying to make a funny video really in a funny level, and it just kind of like gets picked up way more seriously than you think. And it's interesting too, I always thought it was I don't really think I had any kind of like communication with PlayStation or Media Molecule before they like announced any of this, so it was a surprise to me, and no one from there ever said like, is this real or like anything. So they just said, let's run with it, I guess. And I would get on and look, I mean, it's been a long time, but get on and look and see how many like plays and stuff and like favorites or whatever they were it had, and it was like shocking, like just so many people.
How do you feel about the game servers being now fully shut down?
Like pretty sad, actually, like kind of shocked. Like it's one of those things where they didn't really give us notice, right? Like at all. So it's like a kind of loss that you can only like relate to like actual like loss in like real life when it's like unexpected. It kind of has that same feeling, even though it's like a video game, like where it's like, oh, if I would have known this was coming, I would have went back and like revisited, or hung out with that video game one last time before before it's gone. And now it's just like out, just out of nowhere just shut off. So it's like pretty sad, and like I wish they would have figured out some way to at least like let someone else host or like share the levels or something, but we all know like the moderation would be the issue, and I think that was one thing they were having with it in general, right? Was like hackers and people posting like horrible things or whatever. So part of me hopes that eventually they release like one more and just like bring in all the levels from before, but I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking because I was literally thinking about it today, and it's like uh, Sackboy, the most recent game that's like in the Little Big Planet universe, is more of like a Super Mario 3D World kind of game versus, you know, the other one was like more of a 2D platformer. But while that game is good, like really good, and I highly recommend people play it, like I loved it. But well, I was thinking about it, and it's like, well, they have that IP, and if they really cared about it, they could have like made a sequel to it. But now PlayStation's bringing out that new Astrobot game, which is in a similar vein, and it almost feels like Little Big Planet is just like maybe done for them. Not a great feeling.
Thank you very much for taking your time out of the day to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I hope the video comes together and does well, and good luck. It's a
Thank
nice
you.
little retrospective. I'm sure the developers will appreciate it too. So.